Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Apples and Ginos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is week 20 of Trade Talks. My name is Brian, and I'm joined by Ryan and Evan. Today, we'll lay down the law in fantasy hockey court, break down some tough start and bench decisions this week, and dive into the end of the week streaming schedule. Let's get it.
All right. Let's go. How's it going, guys? Week 20, Trade Talks. What's up, Brian?
Man, it is exciting. For a lot of people, this is the final week of the regular season, so it's stressful. I hope that means that everyone is setting alarms at 3 a.m. every morning, just to make sure you get the players you want. But it's great. Happy to be here. How are you guys doing?
Good. Some of us don't even have to set alarms at 3 a.m. We're just up, so but not making pickups. So, in a few leagues, in good positions, in other leagues trying to claw your way into certain spots. So it's always fun. But we're here for it. We're here for it, boys.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm in a weird spot where this is the one fantasy hockey week that nothing matters in any of my leagues, because all of them I'm like, nothing can really change. And my most meaningful league is the APL Tier 1, where I'm out of the playoffs, but I'm matched up against Nate, so I gotta go for the win. And
Who?
I'm I'm acting like if I beat Nate, I'm gonna make the playoffs, which I won't, but that's my most meaningful matchup this week.
There may or may not be a slide dedicated to this next week, depending on the outcome, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
And someone in the Discord actually made wins above expected in the APL. I don't know if you guys took a look at that yet.
I think I did see
that. Just based on how tough your competition has been, and so Nate has the second worst wins below. No, yeah, second worst wins below expected. Second worst wins above expected, I guess. And I was third there. And my goal is to get Nate to dead last and give him the tough competition here in the last week.
There you go.
Yeah, we like to see. All right, we can absolutely get started here. Jump into the newsies. We got a couple people tuning in, so why don't we kick things off here? Evan, did you want to take the first slide?
Yeah, I'll go for it. William Eklund is questionable for Thursday with a lower body injury. He's kind of fallen off in and of himself recently. He's not really on the top power play, top line anymore. So really ever since the arrival of Kiefer Sherwood, he's kind of been on the bubble status for me in terms of hold versus streamer. Reinhardt missed his first game of the season. I think there was he was back at practice, or he was expected to be back this next game, I think, per Maurice. So that's good. Marchand is considered week to week, and I'm sure everyone's seen Elliot Friedman came out on 32 Thoughts and said that Florida was potentially going to be looking at maintaining their spot for picks and shutting some guys down. So I'm kind of hoping that's the case. I don't have a ton of Florida stock anywhere, but for people that do, that's not good. It could elevate some other guys like Verhaeghe to the top power play, but for guys like Seth Jones, Barkov, Marchand, even Kachuk coming back from the injuries that he did, kind of concerning stuff. And then we got Pierre-Luc Dubois on power play 1, and pays dividends immediately today as they have a power play goal, and he got in on it. I think this was a change that was long overdue, to be honest with you. As good as Ryan Leonard is as a young player, I think that they need Pierre-Luc Dubois because he actually will shoot a little bit. Dylan Strome is allergic to shooting the puck, and they need another lefty that can shoot on that power play. I don't know if you guys saw, there was a Jacob Chikrin clip that was floating around. I can't remember what game it was, but Washington's offense has been pretty anemic lately for a team that, last year was scoring a ton of goals. And Jacob Chikrin at one point held onto the puck for 30 seconds, just at the blue line, and then just dangled and did everything possible to create this goal. It's probably the nicest play I've seen from a defenseman this year. But it just shows me that he could be a top 5 defenseman. What do you guys think?
He just might. Bring him to court.
This is the line. This is the important line. 5 versus the rest is the most important line in fantasy hockey. But I do just want to point out Ryan Leonard, he did score a power play goal with Pierre-Luc Dubois getting the assist there and Alex Ovechkin. But it was still the first unit. Tom Wilson was just, he had a long shift right before the power play. So it was Tom Wilson's spot that Ryan Leonard took. And I think Ryan Leonard is actually on power play 2 in the next one there. So don't get too excited, Ryan Leonard owners. He is demoted, and Pierre-Luc Dubois is promoted.
Yeah, and we call ourselves expert leagues. I'm going to drop him tomorrow, guys. He's not there anymore, so he's a drop, especially this week. But I think that's it for this one. Moving on to the next slide here. A couple more newsy updates here. We get Sergachev. If you've been watching the updates with Sergachev, you're probably getting whiplash here. He's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. So he is out still, but the coach said that he is close to returning. So I'm hopeful that he does come back in the next game, which I think is tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Keep your eyes peeled because there is, I don't know if you guys saw that. There was like 3 or 4 updates across a couple of the fantasy apps on Sergachev being in versus out. So I'm thinking he's getting close, which is a good sign. Gostisbehere in Carolina is set to miss a couple more games. Brendan Moore did say it still doesn't seem to be that serious, but still projected to miss a couple of more games, which means Nikishin probably is the reaping of the reward there, getting bumped to power play 1. I know he's got a couple of power play points this year, so that could bode well for him. And then Cole Caulfield. I thought it was just an excuse. Yesterday they said after the games, like, oh no, Cole Caulfield is picked up an illness in the 3rd period of last game. So he's, game time decision for tomorrow. And I'm like, is that just because he didn't score? But turns out it's legit. And he is not playing tonight. So there's a game on tonight if you're watching Wednesday and he's not playing. So hopefully he's back soon and the illness doesn't keep him out any longer than that. And then lastly here, we got Jake Sanderson, who picked the best time of the year to get hurt right before your playoffs. So if you have Sanderson, it's unfortunate, but he is deemed week to week. It still looks like he'll probably be back maybe your 2nd week of playoffs if your playoffs start next week, something along that line. So keep an eye out for Sanderson. And if you can, pick up Shabbat in the meantime because he'd be the one who gets bumped to power play 1. And we'll definitely be getting a little bit more of the ice time there. So those are it for the newsies there. Does anything particularly stand out to you, gentlemen?
No, but speaking about crazy goals from defensemen, Blake's in here bringing up Ryan Ufko, my namesake. I think it's his first name that gives him all that talent. We'll see. Ryan Leonard just scored tonight. Maybe the Ryans. We'll see what I can do when I play Shinny later this week. But yeah, Ryan Ufko, that he got his first goal of his career, and it was a beauty. Highly recommend you to check that out.
That was pretty good. Ghost has been like the most puzzling player, as Nate would have it. Like I was so happy to get him in a lot of spots, like as he was like underdrafted, and he's severely outperformed his expectation this year when healthy. But he's also been out of the lineup like several times, like in and out, like you said, Brian. The whiplash, like missed 3 games here, missed a week there, like so. Yeah, in one league I got off of him for Lane Hudson, so I was really happy about that. Wow. Ryan, you should know a little bit about Nikishin as I grabbed him in the experts league against you.
Wow. Yeah, we'll see if that pans out. Lane Hudson, you like Lane Hudson? You think where do you think you would draft Lane Hudson in terms of fantasy hockey defenseman?
I see a guy floating around fantasy hockey court there, as he should be. Lane Hudson is the real deal. I do like Lane Hudson. I think he's got all the talent in the world. He's on pace for point per game in his sophomore season. I thought he was going to be due for a sophomore slump. So I was very wrong on Lane Hudson. I thought this year he was just going to kind of come back and get maybe like 50, 55 points. I thought the arrival of Noah Dobson, it was going to challenge him for top power play, but he is held firm on that, and he's shown that he could easily be a top 5 fantasy hockey defenseman, including our gentleman on the left here peeking in.
Yeah, he keeps coming back to court. He's just waiting for his date. But I saw something the other day which was really interesting when I was reluctantly watching the Leafs game, and they had pointed out that there's 3 defensemen this year that have gone the most games with a point, so at least getting 1 point, and it's Lane Hudson, Bouchard, and Cale Makar. So like that's pretty elite company to be around. And I know Werenski missed some time, but I guess Werenski probably has some of those games where he has like 2-3 points and then nothing. So the consistency you're getting out of Lane Hudson is incredibly valuable. And yeah, Evan, to your point, I was really expecting some regression this year, but boy, was I wrong. I also thought the Leafs were going to finish in the top 3 in their division, so I was really wrong.
Yeah, that's some good stuff to bring in. I really like that consistency stat. I like looking at that before the season, and I like leaning towards those consistent players in certain leagues, and then the inconsistent like players who get points in bunches in other leagues like best balls, or even I think it's a good talk to have in the off season. I think of just like points league versus cats league. I tend to choose the consistent players in cats league leagues, and I'm more happy with the multi-point game or multi crazy week here and then a nothing week there in points league. Yeah.
Well, let's really quickly touch on this. Lucio, Dahlin and Slash peripherals have been stinky so far. I think that's part of the reason why Ryan did bring him to the court, and it's kind of been true. Like his peripherals haven't held up. He had a little like spurt of good peripherals, but I feel like he'll have a good game with like 3 blocks and 2 hits, 3 shots, and then he goes a game without periffs. So, and Slav though has been. That's another player that like I looked at and now I didn't really want any draft capital in, and he has really gone off here and shown that he is like worth that pick and fitting in nicely. Even on the second line, he's back on the top line now, has a power play goal tonight. What do you guys think about Slavkovsky moving forward?
Well, I mean, if Montreal is going to keep playing the way they do, like I think I just would love to get me a slice of anyone in Montreal. To be honest, like. I think Slavkovsky is the future is bright for him in Montreal with Suzuki, with Caulfield. When he's on that line with them, it's always been a really good line. So as long as he can find some more time with Suzuki and Caulfield, I think the ceiling, or what's the saying? The sky's the limit. That's what I want to say.
And Mr. I got the good stuff by Caulfield. Brian, I got nothing against anything you said there. I mean, not Caulfield, Slav.
Yeah.
I definitely would want to dive into his numbers a little more in the off season to really think about what's going on next year. But things are looking good at the moment. Mr. Hunter BG is in here with us, and he's been waiting for Dahlin's retrial. He needs justice for Rasmus. Justice an union for Rasmus Dahlin. Is that a trade we're talking about? No, I'm kidding. I will say we might have to have like a legit retrial for Rasmus Dahlin.
And I think we might just have to do like a reworking of the top. Maybe that's something for a future episode where we go into like top 5 of each position. And we can kind of like each bring our own or something. That might be something. Real quickly though, for Mr. Hunter BG out here, I'm just gonna read some stuff off to you guys. In the last 5 games played, Rasmus Dahlin, 1 goal, 8 assists, 9 points. He is on a 17 goal, 81 point pace. So I think that makes up a little bit for his peripherals being down in my mind. I think Buffalo exploding has really helped him quite a bit. Obviously, like he doesn't have to do it all himself anymore, and he really doesn't have to defend as much now. I think that's kind of why his peripherals are down. Like Matthias Samuelsson has been amazing this year defensively, and that's been his most consistent pairing. And so I think it's allowed him to open up offensively, but he's done stuff with it. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents quickly on it.
I will cave a bit. I mean, we can spend hours on
an entire episode.
But I will say, come the off season when we're doing some mock drafts and drafting defensemen, and be like, oh, okay, like this is a spot where I'd like to have a defenseman. I do think whether it's 5 to 7 range, I think that will all be one tier. And whether I'm placing Dahlin at 7 or 5, I don't think it matters much to me, because if 2 guys get taken right before and their guy's still in the tier and it's Dahlin, like I think him, Hudson, maybe even Chychrun, maybe even Mo Seider, maybe not Mo Seider anymore. But those are the 3: Hudson, Chychrun, and Dahlin. I think are in that tier for me.
I concur with that. The emergence of Chich and Hudson this year, and then John Carlson getting traded too, even makes that more consistent for Chich. So good stuff, boys.
All right, that's enough for Rasmus Dahlin. If you have Dahlin, you're holding him. If you don't have him, then you're just hoping for his downfall. So let's get into some players that we can actually do some things about. What do we got going on here? I believe Brian, you're bringing this guy to court, right?
Yes, I absolutely am. So let's see how it goes this week, guys. I'm close to retiring, but we'll see. So I'm looking to prosecute Zane Parekh here. I don't think he's cracked up to what everyone has, charged him with being this excellent, top tier offensive defenseman. I just don't think he's that. And we can get into the specifics of what league you'd look or what size league you'd look to drop him. But for the sake of this argument, I'll start with the 14-team league here, where the defenseman, the options are a little bit slim. If you're looking at Zane Parekh, he's played 20 games. He has no goals, 2 assists, so 2 points. He's averaging less than a shot a game, less than half a shot a game, or less than half a hit a game, half a block a game. So across an 82-game pace, he's pacing for 8 points. We don't love that. But I should mention that half of his points consist of power play points. That's huge. He's got 1 power play point this year. I'm pulling up his stats here, and I'm just going through. He's getting a little bit more ice time of recent, which is, hey, I love to see that. But what's he done with the ice time? And I'm looking at a whole lot of zeros. So over his last 5 games, he has that 1 power play point. He's taken a shot in 3 of those 5 games. And in only 2 of those games, he has a block. 1 game he has a hit. Like, there's just nothing there for me to even consider, hey, this is worthwhile holding on. Yeah, you can make the argument that, he's power play 1 now, which we love to see, but Calgary doesn't have a great power play, so he's not going to reap the rewards to get some points. So I think, especially in a league, let's take a look at it, even a categories leagues. I would pick anyone who gives me more peripherals and less point upside for the rest of the season than I would be willing to pick up Zane Parekh, because I just don't think the offense is there around him. So for me, he's an easy drop right now. Could be great in a couple of years, but this year, not for me.
All right. Well, Zane Parekh, he knew he was having a tough prosecutor on his case, so he brought me in to defend him. And I'm just checking 2 seconds here. I want to know Calgary's schedule next week, but basically, if you have Parekh right now and you need to win this week, okay, yeah, maybe it's not the hold right now, even in a 14-team league. But if you grab Parekh, you're probably okay, and you're hoping that he really bursts for the playoffs, which starts next week, and that's what you're counting on. You're counting for just this nice explosion end of the season by Parekh, who has so much talent. And Brian, you're bringing up his 82-game pace over 20 games played, but what we really need to look at is the last few games, because I don't think it's valuable to look at the beginning of the season when he was getting 12 minutes a night, no power play time. I think it's important to look once Mackenzie Weegar was traded and he's up there on the top power play unit, even though they're doing this split power play unit where he's on power play 1 and then power play 2 is like another 5-forward power play. He's getting that opportunity now, and he's getting more minutes. And you say he's not really shooting. He's just not hitting the net. Okay, guys, he is still having those high shot attempts. If you're looking at the last 5 games, just looking at his game log here, he had 8 shot attempts, then 2, then 4, then 5, then 8 again. So he is shooting the puck. He's just missing the net and shooting into blocks, and at a very high rate. And that might not turn around, but I would count on it turning around a little bit. He had 6 goals in that World Junior Tournament in 8 games. He led all defensemen in shots on goal. He likes to shoot the puck, and he'll get the puck to the net, and hopefully the guys in Calgary can get around the net, tap in those rebounds, and get Parekh some points, especially on the power play. And actually, I believe both of his points are on the power play this year, including the 3 games ago. But I also want to point out his on ice stats are not terrible. Okay, it's one of the better ones on Calgary over the last 5 games. There's still scoring chances happening and expected goals happening while he's on the ice. It's just the goals aren't going in. Again, this is a terrible Calgary team, and this is just a high upside hold for next week. That's what I'm doing in one of my leagues, hoping that things turn around for him. And I think it's a good spot. Like it can definitely pay off, and you can reevaluate things maybe on Sunday, maybe next Monday. I think that's when you really need to make a decision on Zane Parekh, but I'm counting on things to turn around for him.
Interesting. You're on a rebuttal.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. No, Ryan, you brought up a couple good points. Like the underlyings, they're looking promising for a blossoming or a future blossoming player, which I love to see. But I really only care about the season this year. What's he going to do for me the rest of the season? What's he doing for me now? And if he's firing the puck a lot, that's great. But it's pretty important that he hits the net. So if he's not hitting the net right now, or if he's run into blocks and yada, 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 maybe that's just an aspect of his game that he hasn't quite figured out yet. Like we know he's a very young guy. He'll figure it out. But to that point, I know even some of the top players like Werenski at the beginning of the season, he was shooting at a higher rate this year than he was last year, but his shots on goal were significantly less to start the season. And then by the end of the season, obviously, he's firing the way we know Werenski can do. So maybe that is the case with Zane Parekh. He'll hit the net more. Someone will start tapping in some of those pucks. He'll get some rebounds. But for me, it's just a matter of what are you doing? What have you done for me recently? What are you going to do for me this year? And just with the playoffs in mind, I'm going to need a defenseman that has more press upside and give me some more consistent, reliable points. And then, the off chance that there is other point upside, like goals, assists, points, those upside there, that would be great as well. So for me, I'm not interested in Zane Parekh, and none of you should be at this point of the year. Maybe next year, but not right now.
All right, I gotta get one last word in here. I think I gotta rebuttal his rebuttal. Yeah, they're not hitting the net yet, but this guy is oozing with offensive talent, and that's what we're betting on. We're betting on the upside here for the shots to start hitting the net, start going in the net as soon as next week, and I think it could happen. And he's also not been terrible defensively. If you look at him and Hanley as a pair, their on-ice expected goal share is 54%, and the expected goals against per 60 is very low. Though his current pair with Jan Kuznetsov is much worse. So, we'll see if maybe he can get back to a better pairing and get some nice expected goal numbers to come as well.
Yeah. And sorry, Evan, I just want to rebuttal the rebuttal to rebuttal real quick. A couple of things there is you brought up earlier, Ryan, but taking a look at next week's schedule. Calgary has a pretty decent schedule next week. I think they play every off night, but there's another team out there say the Boston Bruins. If Lindholm's available or Zadorov is available, any of those guys might be rostered already in a 14 team, but if they're not, I would prefer those guys all day. But my closing argument is I'm going to call a witness to the stand, which is Hunter BG. And he did mention that he could go on and on about Zane Parekh. Saw him quite a few times when he was in Saginaw. Never, ever been a fan. Still young, has a lot of talent, but I don't think he's going to be what people are hoping for. And I couldn't agree more. So the fact that the general public sees this too, Judge, you should take this into consideration when you're, placing your verdict here.
I think the judge needs to, Mr. Hunter BG is not the general public, guys. This is our expert on the Rasmus Dahlin retrial that we're talking about. Don't say he's the general public, all right?
He represents the general public as well. I should clarify. Very valued member.
He's an elected representative. There we go.
He clearly knows about fantasy defensemen if he knows about Dahlin.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I appreciate both sides of the argument here. I will have to charge Zane Parekh as guilty of being stinky.
Yes.
I must have picked up and dropped Zane Parekh 80 times in multiple leagues over the course of the year with the promise of his offensive potential. And now that he has PP1, it'll be interesting to see what he can do with it. To your point, Ryan, I'm not totally out on the player. I just think that if you're trying at all to win this week or next, like Zane Parekh is not it right now. It's in the moment right now where he has to show me something for me to pick him up. It's no longer hoping that these points will come. I do like his Corsi 4 per 60 over the past, several games that he's gotten it. Ice time, even strength is still horrible. And I don't really, obviously Calgary's a horrible offensive environment. I don't really know how his development's going to shine under Huska, but we'll see. I'm hoping next year we'll see more from Zane Parekh, but as of right now, I find him guilty.
All right. I mean, my client accepts your verdict, but he does ask, given the circumstances, he was just sprung into this role, Uyghur traded away, and he's just asking for one more week just to see how things go this week. And let's say he gets 2 points in the next 3 games here. I mean, my client may want to be on some fantasy teams. That's all we're saying.
He can apply for an appeal at that point. If he ends up getting two points in 3 games, both on the power play, I think that could be something that could work.
All right, maybe even a couple blocks, and maybe those shots on goal come around.
Yeah,
I can be swayed.
Yep.
Just slide a 20 across the stand when you approach the bench.
All right, Evan. I believe you're done being a judge.
Oh no,
you're fired.
All right. Well, here we've got Igor Chinikov. And now I am prosecuting. He's being charged with being droppable in 12-team leagues. Now, Igor Chinikov might have been the best waiver wire stream as of late. Since he's gotten to Pittsburgh, he's caught fire. On a 55-game pace, he's 14 goals, 11 assists, 25 points, 2 on the power play. But he's got 9 points in his last 10. He's line 1 and power play 1 with Malkin and Crosby out. So it's really good stuff that he's done. Here's the problem. Malkin's got, 2 games left on his suspension? 3 games?
2, I think.
So when Malkin comes back, where does he slot in? Does that bump him off of the top power play in favor of leaving Mantha up there? I don't know that this is. I think Igor Chinikov is caught lightning in a bottle here with his role. I think he actually did better, when he's kind of like on the second, third line and kind of just being able to work with Malkin. But I don't know that this is we haven't seen enough so far out of Igor Chinikov. I think that a lot of people are kind of running to the waiver wire to grab this guy because he shoots. Last 5 games played, he's got 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. Metrics are okay. Shots 4 per 60. He's 79th individual Corsi 4 per 60. He's 74. The on ice stuff isn't as good. Like expected goals 4 per 60, 166. It's not, to me, I think it's a little bit overblown. I don't know that Igor Chinikov is a true hold to me in 12-team leagues. I think you could make a good argument for it, but if you really are looking to win your fantasy hockey weeks, the only reason you're doing this is if you have an open spot for the schedule, but I think there's also players in 12-team leagues that you could pick up that could do much better than Igor Chinikov. You're looking at the finals week and he's got the 5 games played, so sure, if you can hold him through there, but by then, again, Crosby should be back. So you look at Malkin and Crosby being back. What's his role going to be? He's going to be on power play 2. Is he really still going to be putting up point per game numbers? His ice time is going to be less. Do his shots fall off? I think this is all lightning in a bottle for Chinikov. Now going into next year, if he can secure a role on a top line or a second line and top power play, I'd be more interested in that. But right now, I think he's just been, running with the opportunity that he's been given, and I just don't really believe it as much. I think that there are other players that you could argue you could roster over him in 12-team leagues moving into your playoffs.
Interesting. Very interesting. Now, you brought up a couple good points, the lightning in the bottle, but I would actually argue that he's been great ever since he came to Pittsburgh. I think he's been a natural fit in there. And like you said, the opportunities presented himself, so he's taken hold of that. So who's to say that, he took a hold of the opportunity, so now we're just going to kick him down to third, fourth line? I don't think that's going to happen. I think when Malkin and Crosby's back, that's just more talent that's going to surround him. I think he'll end up on the second line with Malkin. And if you're taking a look at what he's done over the past like month alone, so his shot volume has gone up from what it has averaged over the season. So ever since he's came to Pittsburgh, shots have gone up. The point production has gone up. All important factors to contributing 2 points. So I think he's actually a very valuable member of that Pittsburgh Penguins team. We've seen a handful of players we never expected to start popping off for Pittsburgh this year. And Chinikov is definitely a part of that group. I think they've been pretty fortunate in how they've been, and surprising to a lot of teams across the NHL. And Chinikov's taken full grasp of that opportunity. And let's not even forget, like, there are guys on the Pittsburgh Penguins that will go down with an injury before the season is over. Brian Rust comes to mind. When he goes down, Anthony Mantha might go power play 1, but given Chinikov's recent success, like, he might go to power play 1. He's been doing really well there. I mean, maybe not the power play, 2 power play points, but he's been doing really well in terms of the offense. Another thing I want to point out is you're always going to have a spot for a streamer, or at least most likely you have a spot for a streamer. So why would you try to worry about another streamer spot? Like, why not hold on to Chinikov? From weeks 21 to 23, I think they played 12 games, 4 off nights. That's pretty darn good. Like, I would love to have that on my team and look to stream someone else, knowing that he's going to give me shots. He's likely to contribute on a bunch of points, a lot of goals. And that is incredibly valuable. And then I can use my other streaming spot to maximize my games. So for me, he's going to be a hold because there's so much opportunity and he's been running with it now. Might regress a little bit, but there won't be much better that you can replace him with on the waiver wire.
Interesting stuff, Brian. I think you really have to look at your waiver wire. You know, I think this is all, you know, how good are you at fantasy hockey? This is all about, you know, looking through the lens and saying, well, this guy's got a hot streak going. He's got mid underlines, but a great opportunity because of injury. Is it going to continue? And do you have better spots in your waiver wire? I can see the argument that he continues being a good player and a good streamer. I just don't know that he's for sure a hold in these 12-team leagues. He could be, but I think it's just as likely that he may fall off and there might be something better out there. And I think that's kind of where I land on this is if you want to defend Igor Chinikov and say this is going to keep going, my advice to you is caution. Because if he starts going cold 2-3 games, then we may be prosecuting him very quickly and dropping him to the waiver wire.
Yeah, I guess just going off that, so I'm kind of stepping out of the lawyer of me and just saying, like, yeah, that's a good idea to kind of caution yourselves. But I think it's next week that they played the Monday, Wednesday. Definitely see what he's like to start the week. They end the week on a back-to-back Saturday, Sunday, if I recall correctly. So I think at least for next week, he's a hold and open up another streamer spot for someone else. Like if you have someone on the St. Louis Blues, like we'll get to later, you can drop them for next week and use that as a streamer spot and hold on to Chinikov. There's just a lot of upside with Chinikov, and it makes no sense for me to throw him away just for the sake of, hey, maybe I can pick someone else up, you know?
Your Honor, first time in fantasy court history, can I offer the defense a settlement that we would agree on, which is what he just proposed, of allowing his client to be streamed in Monday, Wednesday, and then potentially drop Saturday, Sunday?
I will consider this. I won't just accept it off the bat. And Evan, the reason I'm doing that is you bring up a really good point of who's on your waiver wire, and let's compare Chinikov to him. So I'm just looking at the greatest fantasy hockey league in the world, the Apples and Ginos Patron League. And in Tier 1, we're looking at the waiver wire. Chinikov, the rest of this week, he's playing Thursday and Saturday. So it's not like great off nights at all. So you got to make sure he's going to actually be playing. If he is, like, I'm looking at a guy like Jackson Blake, who is available, and he's just been on fire. He's not on power play 1, and he's on line 2 in Carolina, which means 15, 16 minutes a night. The deployment is not elite by any means, but that second line is absolutely crushing it with him, Stankoven, and Taylor Hall, just in terms of Corsi for percentage, expected goal share as well. And if I'm just like looking at Thursday, And looking at Pittsburgh's opponents, I think Pittsburgh has Vegas and Utah. Jackson Blake Thursday, Saturday has St. Louis and Tampa, who Tampa has actually been letting in tons of chances and tons of shots and goals against lately. Like I might choose Jackson Blake over Chinikov, and he's available. So like I gotta say, Evan, you shouldn't accept this settlement because the judge has already received a verdict because he actually got a call from another prosecutor that filled me in on the schedule next week, where if we're looking at Pittsburgh's schedule in the quarterfinals of the fantasy hockey season, they're at Colorado, then they're at Carolina, then they're playing Winnipeg against maybe Connor Hellebuck, who's actually turning things around lately, and then they're playing Carolina again. That does not look like Pittsburgh is going to score many goals that week, and for that reason, Chinikov, you're guilty. You're not getting any settlement. You are droppable. You're streamer level player, and that's how people should view you.
Brian.
No, I'm okay with that. I've already won one case, guys. That's the most this year. So I will just say, like, well, Your Honor, naming one player that you can stream, like, that's great. But what happens if your alarm doesn't go off at 3 a.m. to go pick up that player, right? Someone else has picked him up. Then what? Like, I would need to see 4 or 5 players that are better than the option.
Order in the court here, Brian. All right.
Yeah. No, I'm okay.
All right. Let's get some questions here. We got Best Kept Secret 87. Guys, I have a bye week 1. Congratulations. It's actually real exciting. I wish I had a bye week in more of my leagues. JT, Larkin, and Rob Thomas are out. Do you guys think I should be worried about the return times? Picked up Josh Doan for week 22. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't read into any of these injuries. Rob Thomas, he was crushing it. I didn't even hear he was out. So I'm out of the loop on injuries. Do you guys have any insider info here?
Rob Tom, I think they said he's got a hand injury that I think he was slashed or something late in the game, but it was weird the way they came out and said it after the game that he's expected to play through this injury. Like, do they know he has like a small fracture or something? And then he's like, what if he was like contused or sprained? Why wouldn't they just say nothing about it? Like, I don't know. It seemed very interesting that they came out and said that, but I mean, yeah, he's been producing. So until we see otherwise, I would say, you keep rolling him. Larkin seemed to avoid a near season-ending injury, thank God, because that looked awful the way his knee bent down when he went via skating. But it's not expected to be long term. I don't know how long he'll be out. I would think that with the Red Wings still being in a playoff spot, they're not going to push him too hard to return, but hopefully he will be back for your playoffs, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. JT Miller is the biggest question mark for me. There's been no update on his status. And to be honest, even when he is in, I'm not really like thrilled. The Rangers have skyrocketed without him there, shockingly.
Yeah, I think in this scenario, like, you have a bye week, so I mean, you don't need to be worried about anything yet. You can wait until the Saturday of next week and the Sunday of next week to really get all the info you need. JT Miller, like, if he's back, that's great because of the off days, and it's just like free extra games basically. But Josh Doan, I believe the week 22 Buffalo has 2 off nights on that terrible week, so that's worth a hold for sure for that week. Good job.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
I also have Kyrou, Hedman, Busey, and Gibson. Do you think I should drop one for a player who has a better schedule or hold on to them? I would need to know your goalie scoring for that, but Busey just doesn't lose games. So, and Gibson has been great in points leagues. Hedman might be a drop. We're going to talk about Hedman, so I'll hold on to that. Any of you guys got some thoughts on anyone besides Hedman?
Yeah, we'll get into Hedman. I think it depends on who's available, but I'd be eyeing Kyrou. Gibson has been great, but deals with injuries a lot. I think he got hurt twice in the span of last week, if I recall correctly. And then Bussy, yeah, like he doesn't lose games, but he's not exactly putting up in flashy save percentage, or it just depends on what the league scoring is. I think, but all those are good players, and then Hedman will get to, so I'll save that.
Yeah, I think if you really do want to drop one, the order for me is Bussy, Kyrou, Hedman, then Gibson. I think like Anderson started like 4 out of the past 5 games, and he's still not done that great, but he's won the games. So I have to wonder, like Carolina, like heading into the playoffs, like do they really want to roll with Brandon Bussy like in the playoffs? Like part of me thinks that Brendan Moore wants Anderson to be like in better form, like he's been in prior years, and he stayed relatively healthy. So we'll see. But yeah, and then Kyrou, it's an enigma. The Rob Tom line and the Rob Tom power play is what you want in St. Louis, and Kyrou isn't in on that, and he's still getting like 13 minutes a night. So I have dropped him in a spot as well.
Yeah, the Carolina goalie situation is going to be really interesting. I do think I think they have to roll with Bussy. I'm going to call him Boosie because that's more fun to say. I think they have to roll with Boosie unless Anderson like goes lights out in the last week or something. But Anderson's just been real trash this season. -8 goals saved above expected on Money Puck. Don't like that.
He's really bad. And honestly, if Boosie just stayed in his net, then I think he would have like 2 goals less against per game. Every time he tries to play the puck, it's like I'm watching a disaster unfold. Like he either passes it directly to the other team and then they shoot into an empty net, or he creates some sort of crazy scoring chance. So yeah, Boosie, if you're listening, just stay in your net, buddy. You got plenty of competent defensemen like Jacob Slavin and Chatfield to retrieve the puck and get it back up to the forwards.
Yeah, I think he is listening. Brian, how many booms for Boosie?
Right now, no booms for Boosie.
All right. All right. Who's bringing this guy to court?
Oh boy. Look who we have here. We have got the grade 8. Now this is kind of personal for me. As Ryan, you may know, and Brian, I don't know if you know, but I gave up a 5th round pick in the Experts League for this guy. And I am really regretting it. So we are charging Alex Ovechkin with being droppable in 10-team leagues. And honestly, like depending on your team situation, you could even argue it in 12, I think. But it's going to sound crazy because it is, the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. 65 games played, 24 goals, 26 assists, 50 points, 15 on the power play, 2.83 shots per game. So Alex Ovechkin is doing a whole lot of nothing. Now, before we even get into the metrics, have you guys seen the video clips like floating around on the Twitter space and everything? Like basically like, the joke of like, Ovechkin's controller died and he's just literally like gliding up the ice, doesn't skate, doesn't put in any effort unless he absolutely has to. It's beginning to look a little tough and stagnant on their power play, which is obviously why they threw Pierre-Luc Dubois in there. Like Ovechkin, I get it. He stands in the same spot. He's that threat to just wire it one-timer. But guess what? He hasn't been doing that. They're still covering him quite well, and he just has no mobility. And then, therefore, they always know he's going to just be standing there, and it creates a stagnant power play. Like the right side of the power play has to just constantly be rotating because he just stands there. Ovechkin, a lot of respect for this man, but just bottom line, like, what are you doing for me now? And what are you going to do for me moving forward in the playoffs? Like, I'm really not confident that he's like, a start over, a lot of other comparable wingers. Like, last 5 games played, he's got 2 goals, no assists, 17 minutes, 47 seconds time on ice. His metrics are always going to look pretty good. 6th in individual Corsi 4 per 60 ranked, 19 in shots 4 per 60 ranked. On the season, he's 8th in individual Corsi 4 per 60 ranked, 25th shots per 60 ranked, 13 expected goals for 60 ranked. Like, he still like gets good metrics, but like it's been a tough roster. And like thinking that I saw a stat too, like Washington is very much in danger of not having like a 60-point player this season. He's tied with Jacob Chikrin in points right now, like, and it's Alex Ovechkin. So yeah, I think age has kind of caught up to him a bit. Like they're I think like last I checked, they were like 6 points out of the playoffs. I don't know that he has the gas, guys. I just really, I have to give him the respect he deserves because he does deserve it. But if we're talking about the here and now, droppable in 10-team leagues, I think absolutely. Like he's got 50 points in 65 games, 24 goals. I mean, your average like second line top power play winger can kind of get you those numbers.
Your Honor, we must stop this blasphemy. Can I get in here?
Absolutely. The floor is yours, sir.
All right. Well, my client, Mr. Alex Ovechkin, I want to tell you that he's been the best scorer in the league for all these seasons with just one battery in his controller the whole time. The whole time, all right? There's not been a change, all right? He still just has his controller die sometimes, but that's been happening all his career, and he's still leading the NHL in all-time goals. So that is not a valid argument. My client is always just standing still. That's just what he does. All right. That's Alex Ovechkin. And you say his underlyings look good, which they do. All right. And things just aren't really going his way like they did for this historic run last season. And I think all of our expectations should have been brought down to earth a little bit in the offseason, and maybe he's more of a 35-goal, 60-point guy, which in a 10-team league, you're still doing that. You're still holding on to that. You're still drafting him in the 5th or 6th round, I think. So no, you cannot drop him. He's had a terrible stretch, and I'm saying that that's been unlucky. All right. If you're just looking at his game logs over the last 11 games there, he's got a whole bunch of zeros where he's gotten no points. He does have 1 2-goal game, but look at his shot attempts over the last little bit. He has most of his games where the shot attempts are above 7 or more. And the shots on goal are still coming. He hasn't had less than 2 shots on goal in quite a while. And the scoring chances are still there. The expected goals are still there. They're just not really going in. And I also want to point out that he has been unlucky this year as a whole on the power play. His shooting percentage on the power play is 6.25%. If he finishes like that, that'll be the lowest ever of his career. And yeah, old man Ovechkin, maybe you're saying, yeah, that it should be the lowest of his career because he's an old man and he can't do what he's doing. But the chances are still there on the power play. He's just not scoring, and I don't think it's age. I think that he will be fine in the net as the season goes on, especially into your fantasy playoffs. And the shooting percentage is not going to stay at 6% on the power play, where it could be north of 20. All right, there's my arguments for holding on to the grade 8.
Slight rebuttal, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Let's extend this. The last 10 games, 2 goals, 3 assists. Looking at his shot totals, when you expect Ovechkin, you're looking at like a lot of times like 4+ shot games. He's got 3, 2, 2, 4, 3, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3. That's not my Ovechkin. Also, looking at time on ice, 17 minutes, 18 minutes, 18 minutes, 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 13 minutes, 13 minutes, 15 minutes time on ice. They can only have him standing out there with 1 battery controller for so long. Like, and I think unfortunately, Ovi, I'm with you, buddy. Like the hot Cheetos and the Diet Coke on the bench, it works until you're 40 years old and you're looking at him at the Wizards game that he was at in a shirt. And I'm like, oh boy, this is the greatest goal scorer of all time. It's amazing stuff for us dads out there with dad bods. But for fantasy hockey production, it's just not going to happen. I think we all tempered expectations for Ovi this year. I think, or most people did. But I thought he would still have a bit more juice. And I think Washington in general, I thought would do better on the power play. And whether that's his fault or not is, I guess, kind of up for debate. But I'd like to point out, Your Honor, that, similar to the defendant, he's also representing Zane Perek, and there's a lot of copium being smoked over there by the defense lawyer. So I just like to point that out. A lot of hopes and prayers that we get back to production instead of just metrics.
All right, I'd
like to have Ryan drug tested for copium.
Got to say a couple things here. Yes, don't disperse our law firm. We are the law firm of shot attempts rather than shots on goal. We take a look at shot attempts. We don't care if they hit the net. So yeah, you're bringing up his shots on goal lately. But take a look at his shot attempts, and also take a look at his unblocked shot attempts. He's not shooting into blocks. He's just missing the net. But I will let you know that missed shots include shots that like are right maybe at the goalie and the goalie saves it, but it's like might hit the post or go wide. That's a missed shot, but that's something that the goalie is still scared of, and just that's still Alex Ovechkin taking shots toward the net, and they're gonna go in. All right, they're gonna go in. You also brought up his time on ice, where last season, his historic goal run, he was only getting like 13 and a half minutes of time on ice at even strength. And you bring up his time on ice lately, but let's take a look at his power play time on ice, where he leads the league in power play time on ice. He leads the league in power play time on ice share, and basically all of his ice time is on the power play. So, and it's all in the offensive zone. He has zero, and I'll repeat, zero shift starts in the defensive zone. He has never started a shift in the defensive zone this year. He's always on the fly. Yeah. Or in the neutral zone or in the or in the offensive zone. So I'm not too worried on his belly. I'm not too worried about the time on ice because it's all coming in the offensive zone, and it's mostly coming on the power play. And you can't be dropping Alex Ovechkin in a 10-team league. You can't do it. Don't do it, guys.
It's just one more comment as opposed to true prosecution. But you know how they have the stats for like McKinnon and McDavid, like miles skated per game? I would love to see the total distance of Ovechkin, especially on the power play. Like you said, Ryan, he starts in the offensive zone. He stays on that left slot. And then if the puck gets like dumped out of the zone, he probably just glides over the blue line and then glides right back to his spot. Yeah. So probably like 20 foot, here and there.
Does he even sweat? That's what I want to know. How hard to skate. Okay. Very interesting. I appreciate both of your cases. I've taken them under consideration. I'd like to share a tweet I saw that speaks to his longevity, the greatest goal scorer of all time. It was Alex Ovechkin in the offseason before his diet weighed 265 pounds. Alex Ovechkin after his diet still weighed 265 pounds because Alex Ovechkin doesn't diet. And I had to laugh because that really does kind of translate to Ovechkin. He doesn't move. Like Ryan, like you said, he has all of his starts in the offensive zone, spends all that time in his office on that power play. And I just think in a 10-team league, Alex Ovechkin would have to be ranked a lot worse than he is. So yeah, he's going through a cold spell right now. We know that his shot totals are down from last year. Hits are down, blocks are down, which he doesn't really do anyways, but points are down pretty significantly from last year. And I would say that he is not droppable right now, but this should send you alarm bells coming into the fantasy season next year because he already got the record, and this is the start of the fall of Alex Ovechkin. He's not getting a ton of ice time, but he's still going to get his cookies, or else he'll have a problem. He's going to get his shots. He's going to get his goals. He has all the offensive opportunity out there, which translates exactly to fantasy, which what we like to see. So cold spell now on the season. I think he'll be okay. He'll be an okay player to hold, but it should be sending alarm bells moving into next year. So my verdict, not guilty.
Fair. I accept the outcome. I hope that by bringing the grade 8 to trial, he can turn it around as an owner in multiple leagues.
Now, does the prosecutor want to meet me in the parking lot for a little scrap about this, or are you okay with the verdict?
No, it's a great verdict. I appreciate the verdict.
Yeah,
All right,
no,
good.
I accept.
All right.
All right. One more piece of business here. I am bringing Victor Hedman to Fantasy Hockey Court. Welcome to the party, Victor. Victor, welcome. Victor, is that my
Victor.
Swedish voice?
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
Victor, you only have 16 points.
Oh,
I will stop this. Stop me. Don't let me do that again.
I'll keep going.
Sound like
It's
that.
like blending into a whole bunch of different accents. Just don't let me do it. All right. Well, Victor Hedman, he's played in 29 games played. That's a yikes. That's ouch if you drafted him where his ADP was at the start of the season. But we don't care about that anymore. What we care about is, Victor, should I be holding on to you right now, or are you droppable in 12-team leagues? And I believe you are droppable in 12-team leagues. I don't think we need to hold on to you anymore at this point. Darren Radish was out for one game, but it was a personal matter. He should be back in either their next game or the game after that. And Victor Hedman, you're not going to get a touch on power play 1 for the rest of the season with Darren Radish back. And without that, just your value's not there at even strength. Sure, you have 16 points in 29 games played, 6 on the power play. Like, if you're just looking at that pace, that's good. That's a 45-point pace. That's that's way more than a 45-point pace, right? No. Anyways, that's a lot of power. That's a good, healthy power play point pace. But the power play points are not going to continue. You got on there last game, and you got an assist last game and 2 shots on goal. Good for you. But your ice time's been real down lately. They're load managing you. And I just don't see more than like a 40-point pace at all for the rest of the season without that top power play. And I rest my case. Darren Radish, it's all yours, man.
This is disparaging against my client, and I will not have it. As we're trying not to tarnish the grade 8, Victor Hedman is arguably one of the best defensemen of our generation. I think real quickly, with Darren Radish being out on a personal note, that's personal to me, Darren, because, I trade Nate, the 4th round pick in the Experts League, and this is how he treats me. So I hope this is, not going to be a thing. However, Victor Hedman, yes, his ice time was down. They were load managing him. I think that as we're getting closer to the playoffs, we're going to see that. So, you take the first 5 games that he was back. Yeah, it was horrible. 11 minutes, 14 minutes, 16 minutes. Last 3 games, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 22 minutes. It's been creeping back up. So with Victor Hedman's ice time creeping back up, periffs are coming a little bit as well. He had 3 hits in a game. He had 2 shots, 3 shots, 2 shots. He's ramping up. He's getting back. He hasn't played in a while. He got an assist with Darren Radish being out. I still just believe in the player. I believe in the talent. If you're talking about dropping him in a 12-man league, you've got to have a solid 4th or 5th defenseman to have over Hedman. Who are you really going to have? I think Victor Hedman, again, could still pace, as we talked about in our last trade target show. I still think rest of season, Tampa is that good offensively. They've gone through quite a slump as a team, letting in a bunch of goals and not producing as much. But with Nikita Kucherov, Braden Point, Jake Gensel, Brandon Hagel, all he needs to do is just get on a hot streak where he gets 2 or 3 assists in a game, and then he's right back there, and he can get those even strength very easily. So I'm not out on Victor Hedman. I think you'd have to have a stellar defensive core to leave him out as a droppable in a 12-man as your last defenseman. And I rest my case as well, Your Honor.
All right. I do need to say that, as the 4th defenseman, if it's someone who's not getting on the top power play, you're going to want someone with peripherals, and Hedman hasn't really been doing that lately. And He had 1 block last game, 0-0, then 2-0-1. Not a lot of hits. So like it's really going to have to come from the points. And I do want to point out that his increased ice time lately. So last game, Darren Radish out. They were losing most of the game. They did lose the game, so they were probably forced to play Hedman a little more than they wanted to try and get the win. The game before that was the crazy 8-7 game against Buffalo, where Darren Radish got in a fight, so he had a bunch of PIMs, and Dastu, I believe, had a fight and a misconduct. So like Hedman needed to play a ton of minutes, and I just don't know if that's what John Cooper is really like needing or wanting to do for the rest of the season with Hedman, with what he did for like the previous 10 games. I think he wants to save Victor Hedman, who has been dealing with stuff this season physically. He wants to save him for the playoffs, and he might be able to with the way Tampa is. I mean, not lately, but the way Tampa can play offensively, especially with Radish back. So yeah, I'm not convinced Hedman's gonna get you these points, and there's not gonna be peripherals that you can get elsewhere on the waiver wire.
Still Victor Hedman. And I think, to your point of John Cooper not wanting to, like, yeah, maybe, but at the same time, you can't just go from playing like 12 to 14 minutes in, the regular season, and then all of a sudden he's going to play 20, 25 minutes in the playoffs. Like, there's got to be some sort of ramp up to get him back to where they need to be. Otherwise, it's just, you're going to ask for even more injury if you go from playing, that to double.
Very interesting. Very interesting points.
I will concede. That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, looking at the game logs, like 22 minutes last game, 20 minutes game before that, but we know Radish is out. And yeah, his minutes are kind of all over the place. But without that top power play, I don't love it. I think it's Darren Radish's power play. He'll be back soon. And here's the thing. Victor Hedman could very well be saving, what he can do for the playoffs. Tampa's in a really good spot in the standings that they don't need to force him to play a bulk load of minutes. So yeah, they could very well ease him into more minutes getting into the playoffs, but I think you'll see him have his most minutes once they get to the postseason, because they're totally fine with Darren Radish taking the wheel on that power play. You look at another team like Florida, they're conceding all of a sudden all their players are hurt. They're out weeks to weeks, even with a couple bumps and bruises. And they want to be, and in Tampa, they probably want to be cautious with Hedman here. So for me, I'm actually also going to say he's guilty. You can drop Victor Hedman. I just don't think this is his season. This is what happens when you miss a large part of the season. It's really difficult to get yourself back on track. All that to say is Hedman could be a stud next year, but this is just not the season for Victor Hedman.
I feel like I need to send you a clip, Your Honor, of all the even strength points. There's just video evidence of Victor Hedman's even strength points from last year, just to convince you.
Yeah.
He had 40 of them. He did have 40 of them.
That's pretty good. But like I said, it takes some time to get back on track when you miss a lot of time. So even looking at his points, like 1, 2, 3, 4 over the last, 10, 11 games he's got. That's not great. Like, he can do better. Victor Hedman can do better. So I'm assuming you also already have Werenski and Kale McCarr in your team. You probably don't need Victor Hedman. Yeah. No, I just don't think this is the season for Hedman. He'll come back next year. He'll be better next year.
Quick little would you rather rest of season, Luke Hughes or Victor Hedman as your fourth defenseman?
Oh, Victor Hedman.
I'm taking Luke.
I'll be the tiebreaker. I'll take Victor Hedman.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, this guy won't leave court.
What's up, Rasmus?
Rasmus is back. But we can't
man.
talk about Rasmus anymore.
We need to have some police escorts making this guy leave the building because he just won't leave. I think that's a good idea.
We need to get him on the podcast. That settles it all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. All right, gentlemen, we're going to go into a little Would You Rather segment. Now, this just keeps in mind, this is a Would You Rather based off of the rest of the week. So keep in mind the schedules, the playoff schedules moving forward. But you can keep that in the back of your mind. But really, I want you guys to kind of think of, there are heavy nights, Thursday being tomorrow and Saturday. Seems like everyone in the whole league is playing. So from your standpoint, would you rather player A or player B to start that night? And give us a little reason why. Simple as that. All right. So first things first, we got Jared McCann and Philip Forsberg. And I'm just going to really quickly let you know, you got Philip Forsberg, who plays on the busy night tomorrow, but then doesn't play till Sunday. So 2 games there. And then Seattle has 3 games left. So they play on the busy night Thursday, the busy night Saturday, and then Sunday. So talk to me about the Thursday being tomorrow. Would you rather Jared McCann or Philip Forsberg?
Well, are we taking account the games here? Like
maybe
three
secondary.
games?
Let's just focus on the one game that they both play together at the same time. So let's start there. So yeah, Ryan, why don't you go first?
Sure. Seattle's got Colorado and Nashville has Vancouver. And these, maybe we should rapid fire these. I think we got quite a few of them. I'm going against Vancouver here, no doubt. Give me Philip Forsberg on Thursday.
Yep. Same.
Evan? Yep.
Same. If you would include the games played, I would take McCann, like assuming he's healthy, because I think he was skating again today. But yeah, I would take McCann for the games played if that counted. But just for the specific days, Forsberg.
Okay. Yep. Forsberg for me too.
Brian?
Yep.
All right.
Even though apparently we hate Philip Forsberg, but Jared McCann has also been super cold. He got a point yesterday, but he's been pretty cold of late. I'll go Forsberg.
Seattle has Bobby McMahon now. Don't disparage.
I think he's out.
Oh, tough.
All right. The Buffalo Boys. We got Shane Doan and Josh Norris. Evan, who you taking?
Oh, this is a hard one. Give me Shane Doan. Josh Norris has been brutal lately, and his time on ice has been down. Give me Shane Doan.
Yeah, I love Shane Doan. He's the play driver and the goal scorer, and Josh Norris he's a play driver, but he's a setup guy, and it's going to be reliant on other guys putting the puck in the back of the net a lot more than Josh Doan. So I'm loving Josh Doan here, especially like both are on the top power play right now.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll take Doan myself, but wanted to throw something out there. Isn't it very interesting that Norris has always been known as the guy who throws the body, averaging over 2 hits a game. This year, he has less than a hit a game, but his point production has gone through the roof. You think this is a recipe for success that he's going to take into consideration moving into next year?
He'll have to be consistently on the line with Tage Thompson for me to be at all interested next year. With what they've done with their lines, and they've had success with it, putting him on the third line. So I don't see how that changes. And yeah, his injury history is just, I think somebody told him finally, like, listen, you are such a glass house. You cannot afford to hit anybody. So, and he listened apparently. So good on him.
Yeah, possibly. I think like with his injury history, like even if he were to go like finish above a point per game, I don't think fantasy managers are drafting him ahead of like the 14th round next year still.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Next one we got Nazem Kadri back in Colorado or Dylan Strome. Now
I gotta go Nazem Kadri right off the bat. I mean, he's on the top line with McKinnon and Nietzsche and on the top power play. You know, they didn't do it last game, but in his first game, he got an assist. That opportunity is the best opportunity in the league.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you think that lasts with Naz up with McKinnon? Because they seemed like they had instant chemistry, but we know what Colorado does. So if that changes, would you rather Dylan Strome over Kadri?
No, because even if it changes, the potential for it happening again in the game after is there.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll go Naz as well.
Yeah, you got to go Kadri here. Do you guys see the ovation he got from Colorado when he went back? Like, they love him there, and I love him there too. And I think, honestly, even if he was third line first power play, I would take him over Strome. Like, I just, that scoring chance that he generated when McKinnon got the goal, I don't know if you guys saw, it was a very nice pass from behind the net to him. So, yeah, I love this.
Yeah. No arguments for me. All right, next one, we got 2 defensemen. And I can't believe we're talking about this guy again, but Dougie Hamilton found a way to get some points, or Charlie McAvoy? Who are you taking?
It's got to be McAvoy. I mean, the guy's got no jaw left. It's just one swollen piece of tissue. No teeth, no jaw, just, gum line. But he's producing, man. I got to give McAvoy credit. He's come out this year and really produced. Boston's done well for themselves enough, but I feel like last year and even the year before, like, when they had like better talent on the team, like Bergeron and Krejci, he wasn't doing what he's doing now. And now they've got Morgan Geekie and, Pavel Zacha and Elias Lindholm, and he's, facilitating to them. So yeah, give me McAvoy all day here.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Are we gonna agree on everything here? Maybe, but I agree. I got nothing to add.
I'm gonna go Dougie Hamilton. I think finally, I think finally the points are coming as of, what was that? Right before the Olympic break, the points seem to be coming, and it just seems like he's catching up for lost time. He's hitting the net. He's getting points. There is some life there in New Jersey, a little bit, and he's at the other end of it. So I really like Dougie Hamilton here. And then I know even if we looked into the future, they both have pretty decent playoff schedules, but still for me, I'm taking Dougie.
Interesting.
Right.
All right. Next up, we got Svech and Adrian Kempe. So if you're rostering both of them, you got to start one of them. Who you going with?
Yeah, a little bit of background here. Svech has St. Louis and then Tampa Bay, and LA has on Friday instead of Thursday the Islanders and the Devils.
Give me Kempe. I think that the Panarin chemistry with him and Kopitar is starting to work a little bit. They haven't really gotten the power play down yet. But I mean, they've had games here where they've scored 4 or 5 goals. Now they're opening up the offense a little bit with the absence of Jim Hiller, thank God. And so, yeah, it hasn't translated into wins for the Kings, but I think they're playing more offensively now. So give me Kempe. He's been the one putting the puck in the net too.
Okay. Yeah, I think if I'm up, let's say it's a points league. If I'm up, I'm going to go Svechnikov for a nicer floor, I believe. Like he can score a goal, he can get a point. He might not get like 3 points. If I'm behind, I'm going Kempe because Kempe could get on that, like just LA could have an explosion on that top line with Panarin. Just more likely for that to happen. But I think Svechnikov has a better floor.
Okay.
Good
yeah.
point.
I myself, if I looked at just the busy Saturday that they both play, I like LA's matchup better, and for me that's enough to make the decision. So I'll go with Kempe on this as well.
Good, we're all in agreement.
Yeah. I got Adam Fantilli and Vinny Tro, who's a friend of the show. And just real quick, Adam Fantilli. They play Florida tomorrow, and then the Rangers, they play Winnipeg tomorrow.
This one for me is pretty easy. I'm going Fantilli. I still think just the talent and the top line there, top power play. Like I like Vinny Tro, and he didn't get traded, so I'm sure he's happy his kid can stay on his hockey team. But yeah, I think Vinny Tro's second line, still top power play. Rangers have been cooking, but it hasn't been all him. So give me Fantilli.
Okay.
I agree. Fantilli with on that top line, Marchenko and Marchment, they've been great, and I love Adam Fantilli, and I'm starting him. I'm starting him over Tro.
Okay, I'm going the opposite. I'm going Vinny Tro. For whatever reason, the Rangers have started to score a lot of goals. Zibby has been driving a lot of that, but Tro is on the receiving end of a lot of that point production. And yeah, I just think the peripheral floor as well is much higher with Vinny Tro. So I'm going Tro check.
All right.
We got Gabe. Wait, no, who is this? Not Gabe Perreault, is it? It is.
Yep.
Gabe Perreault. I don't even recognize him, and I'm going to put the picture in here.
It's Gabe Perreault he's got like 4 arms. So
yeah.
Gabe Perreault with extra abilities, it seems.
He's moving so fast you can't get a clear shot of him.
See, this is why the Rangers offense is going right now. No. We got Gabe Perreault or Beckett Seneca. For me, I'm taking Seneca.
Ryan?
Yeah. Seneca has got at Toronto, at Ottawa, at Montreal. Anaheim is taking a stroll into Canada there. The Rangers they're at Winnipeg and at Minnesota, so they're taking a stroll in the north too, but a little more west. But yeah, like even if they're playing the same games played, I'm going Seneca here. Gabe Perreault, like I like what he's doing and he's getting the opportunity, but Seneca just like he's solidified himself a nice top 6 role in Anaheim, and he's shooting a ton lately. He's on the top power play. I gotta go Seneca.
See, this one was submitted by myself because I'm going to have to make this decision, and I'm going to go with Gabe Perreault. I'm going to ride the hot hand. He's been getting multi-point game after multi-point game, showing that he can be a fixture in the future of New York without JT Miller. And Beckett Seneca has kind of gone cold, as well as the rest of it, most of Anaheim. Like, it's really been the Leo Carlson, Cutter Gauthier show recently. And then Mikael Granlund comes back, and Seneca's like quiet now. So, yeah, I really do like Beckett Seneca, but I'm interested in what Gabe Perreault is doing for me now.
Yeah.
All
right.
One more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They got Willie Nylander or Marchenko. Both of them have been producing as of late. If we're just going to look at Thursday's matchup tomorrow, you have the Leafs playing Anaheim, and then we already know Columbus is playing Florida. Who are you taking? Like the guy you drafted higher, but on a much worse team that can't score? Or are you taking the hot hand and going Marchenko?
Give me Willie Styles.
Okay.
Yeah, give me Willie. This guy, he's just so cool, man. He's just the coolest guy.
Yeah. You know, when I put this in here, I really thought that we were going to have some discussion and be like, oh no, Marchenko and Nylander. But yeah, this is 3 ways going to Nylander here. He's just so cool.
Yeah, and like with like just like looking at a particular night, like Anaheim, they're not like a shutdown defense matchup, and Columbus has Florida, who they might be better defensively. But I'm looking at like betting markets a lot, and Nylander's point prop is definitely worse odds every night of the week compared to Marchenko. So I'm just gonna trust the betting markets there, and Willie Nylander is more likely to get a point.
Okay, fair enough. And then I think we got one last segment here. We're going to be taking a look at the rest of the week streams. So starting tomorrow, Thursday to Sunday, I pulled out a couple of teams here because there is a handful of teams that have 3 games left starting Thursday, but there's 2 that I'll kind of draw your attention to in St. Louis and Edmonton. We'll start there, and then we'll move over to some potential drops. But I'm curious with you guys. You have Edmonton, St. Louis playing on that Friday and that Sunday. Most likely you can get players in on both those days, I'd imagine. But from Edmonton, we're looking at guys like Wallman, Savoy, Roslovich, Podkolzin, Trent Frederick can interest you in, and then Matthias Ekholm if he's available. Are you guys interested in any of those Oilers?
Sorry, before I answer that,
yeah,
what did you say this segment was called?
Oh, rest of week streams. Oh no! Wait! No, it's the stream shower.
The stream shower.
Yeah, the stream shower. That's it. Yeah, we got a little sprinkle for you. A little sprinkle.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, Nate and Blake like to cross the stream at the start of the week, and we're just coming in for a little shower at the end. All right, guys. This is the stream shower. Gotta embrace it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll answer your question.
For all our dedicated listeners that have stuck with us through an hour and 20 minutes of this, get into this stream shower.
Yeah, that's what they've been waiting for. They've been putting on their shower caps. They're ready.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's get into a little shower. Let's get into a little shower here, guys. We're looking at two teams, St. Louis and Edmonton. Who are you guys interested in? Let's start with Edmonton.
Ryan, go ahead.
I'm not very interested in any of those Edmonton players. They're all off of the top power play, and it's kind of just like boom or bust if Draisaitl's line is going to go off. So I'm not really interested. Also in a few of my leagues, I'm actually like filled up on Thursday, but I have some room on Saturday. So in my I'm just like Edmonton and St. Louis not playing Saturday. It doesn't do it for me. So I'm taking a look at these other teams that you have on there with 3 games, but St. Louis,
not the Friday Sunday streams?
Well, yeah. I mean, sure, but I have room on the Saturday, surprisingly. So
Okay.
Friday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, it's kind of the same for me. Evan, I'll give you an opportunity. Any Edmonton guys you want to talk about?
I do like it because I am unfortunately full up, Brian. So I would take a look at Podkolzin, and I think he's done really nicely when he does play with Draisaitl. Like he'll get a goal here and there. It's never like a huge multi-point game, but he hits, he'll shoot a little bit. Maybe get 2-3 shots and a goal here and there. So can he get it back to back on a Friday, Sunday? Maybe. I like his depth scoring.
Yeah. For me, I would have been interested in Savoy but he's no longer on that Draisaitl line, so no one really there. Podkolzin, I could be interested in, especially if you're in a Bangers Cats, and then maybe Ekholm. But it seems like Edmonton is only scoring on the power play recently, so that kind of knocks most of those guys. So Ryan, to your point, if they're not on the top power play, like they have tremendously less value. But yeah, we'll get into a couple of the teams that play in the 3 games, but really quickly, just because the St. Louis Blues also play the Friday, Sunday, which are light nights. So they play Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Is there anyone there of interest? And I'll just name off a couple of players that I pulled out there. So you got Colton Parayko, who might be available, Philip Broberg, Cam Fowler, Jonathan Drouin, Jake Neighbors, Bushnevich, Jimmy Snuggles, Suter, Logan Mailloux, any of those guys. I mean, I guess I'll throw it to Evan first because Ryan's not interested.
Yeah, no, he's got his eyes on the Saturday, but I don't know how you can't be interested in Jimmy Snuggles. I know Nate and Blake have been talking him up, especially Nate, and I mean this guy almost single-handedly beat me in a matchup this past week. So, give me Jimmy Snuggles alongside Rob Tom and out in a Rob Tom unit. And honestly, I picked up Broberg in the APL as Ghost went out for the 18th time this year. So I'm not unhappy with it. He's getting insane ice time. Like he got like 30 minutes one day. I think it was an overtime game, but like. Man, like they're really relying on him, and he doesn't do a lot peripherally. Like he basically does nothing. Like hit maybe a shot here or there, but if he's going to be getting a bunch of assists, throwing it to Rob Tom and Jimmy Snuggs, give me that. Bushnevich maybe, but I'm really more about the Snuggerud and Broberg there.
Yeah, I am interested in that.
Go ahead.
To be honest, I will be interested in these Blues, especially Snuggerud. And Holloway and Snuggerud and Thomas are this top line now, and they just went off last game. Anyone outside of that, I'm not too interested in, but you gotta go. Nope. Yeah. You gotta go for Holloway and Snuggies.
Yeah. The only reason I didn't include Holloway on this list is he's above 50%. But if he is available, that would be my number one option. And then probably Snuggles. That top line is nice, but we need Robert Thomas healthy as well. True. So we'll see where that goes.
Snuggers? He's what? He's only
climbing
12% rostered.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's climbing though. He's going to be
criminal.
Drop best kept secrets. Drop Cairo for Jimmy Snug. Absolutely. I dropped Cairo for Holloway in a league, and I was laughing. So.
All right. Moving on here, we can touch on a couple of these teams. We don't have to go through all of them, but just starting with someone like the Anaheim Ducks. They play Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Couple of guys that come to mind, taking a look at who's available. You got someone like Mason McTavish, Vetrano, Zellweger, Alex Killorn. Do any of those guys tickle your fancy? What's the saying? Something like that. No, we're not interested.
No. Okay. Beckett Seneca is 52% rostered. He's the guy, but is Granlund?
Granlund might be available too.
He's 23% rostered. That would tickle my fancy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if you had to rank them, would you go
in the shower tickling fancies here?
Yeah, that's what you do in the shower at the end of the week. The end of the week. Okay.
I'll get a little sprinkle on Granlund and Seneca, but I ain't getting sprinkles on anyone else you named.
No Kaloran. Wow. No, I'm joking. I'm not surprised. Okay. Moving on here, Minnesota. I know there's one person there that's criminally under roster with his Matt Zuccarello. So if he's available, pick him up. You also got Trennan. You got Hartman, Tarasenko, Johansson, Jared Spurgeon. Any of those guys?
I like Tarasenko. They switched the lines around a little bit, and he was playing with Kaprizov for a minute, so he'd be the most interesting. But none of them are like jumping off the page, like to me.
Yeah, he got an assist on Kaprizov goal, I think, last game too.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited for Bobby Brink. He's playing, or he started on a line with Eriksson Ek and Boldy, which was a great opportunity. I picked him up, and he didn't do anything. And then I dropped him, and then he scored a goal. But still just 12 minutes of ice time, no power play exposure, and he did get moved up and down the lineup a little bit. So not really interested in Bobby Brink anymore. I'm more interested, like you said, Evan, in Tarasenko, depending on the lines that drop tomorrow at practice.
Yeah. And Ryan, what do you think about side note? What do you think about Scott Lawton getting traded to LA and then immediately goes on a scoring rant? Like can't stop scoring.
Yeah. I'm very happy for the guy. Yeah.
Happy for the guy.
One of the goals was like, or I think the first goal, it was just such a fluke, but that's what happens sometimes.
They all count the same. Okay. Let's kind of go rapid fire here because I know we're really past time, but maybe I'll touch on one or two more teams that we can stream, but looking at someone like San Jose, you might get Kiefer Sherwood, 53% owned, Tyler Toffoli, 38%, William Eklund, 30%, Orlov, 16%, Wenberg, 8%. Any interest in those guys?
Kiefer and Toffoli for sure.
Kiefer the Beefa. Okay.
Yeah, and I'd take a look at Colin Graff if he's still on the Celebrini and Smith's line.
That could be nice. And then one more team. Let's maybe look at Seattle. So Seattle, you got guys. I mean, no one's really rostered in Seattle. I feel like you got McCann,
you can take your pick.
Yeah, McCann, Everly, Beniers, Tolvanen, McMahon when he's healthy, Stevenson. I think all those guys you can kind of flip a coin. I'd probably go McCann, Everly, and then whatever for the rest. I don't know if you guys see it differently.
Yeah,
guys,
no, I agree.
McCann, holy, I can't believe he's only 37% roster.
I know.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
it's criminal.
Averaging, I think last I checked, was like 0.8 points a game. Like he's having a pretty good year.
He's got 36 in 39. But from Seattle, who I'm really interested in, Bobby McMahon. I think in his first game, he's going to be on a line with Beniers and McCann, and he's going to score a goal. You heard it here first.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Now, if we were to move on real quick to the players' potential drops, like this could be open for debate, but if you have a New Jersey Devil, you've already held them to this point in the week. They only play 2 games this week. So for the second half of the week, they get the 2 busy nights on the Thursday and Saturday. So I don't know if you're dropping any of these guys because they have a good playoff schedule, but I don't know. I'll just leave it open-ended. Are you dropping anyone on the Devils?
Not their main.
I think we already did.
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, Luke Hughes is long gone.
Yeah,
I dropped Gritsuk in a spot. So yeah, I think you can drop any of the guys outside of like Nico, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, Dougie.
Okay. No, that's fair. That's fair. And then maybe I'll do like two more teams here. Like for those of you that are listening, potential drops I took a look at are New Jersey, LA, Florida, Nashville, the Islanders, Rangers, Sens, and Tampa. But we've been going on for quite some time. So maybe I'll do some rapid fire here. Go on and take a look at Florida. You got guys that a ton of them are injured right now, but you have guys like Sam Bennett, 77% owned. I don't know if you're dropping him, but you got Ekblad at 56. You got Seth Jones, 65%. Like the issue with Florida is that the injuries are keep coming. I feel like they're just going to keep getting stretched. So there could be a lot of value in Florida streamers, but it depends on how you see it. So you guys dropping anyone out of Florida?
I'd pretty much drop anyone. Yeah, I would drop Sam Bennett. I would drop Ekblad, like if I needed to.
Okay, so you're just keeping like guys like
Sam
Kachuk.
Reinhart, Kachuk.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big boys.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed. You're taking a look at your Thursday, and then you're seeing who you're benching. You're taking a look at your Saturday. You're seeing who you're benching, and if that's Sam Bennett both nights, just get rid of him. May as well.
Simple enough. And then the last team we'll look at in Nashville Predators. They play the Thursday and the Sunday. I'll throw 3 names out at you. You let me know if you drop these guys: Ryan O'Reilly, Jonathan Marchessault, Luke Evangelista.
No, yes. I would not drop Ryan O'Reilly. I would drop Evangelista and Marchessault.
Yeah, I mean, since they play Sunday, like I'm more inclined to hold on. Ryan O'Reilly for sure. I'm holding there. But I mean, maybe I was streaming Matt Wood, Evangelista, Marchessault just went off. Like, I don't think we have to drop him because of that off night on Sunday.
Yeah, just depends on your schedule, who you got on the bench, who you guys have. Like, definitely keep looking at that. But yeah, that's it for the little shower we had together here, boys. Not sure if you had any other names you wanted to throw out there.
Mr. Hunter BG, McCann or Marchment rest of season? I think that's a really interesting one. I'm going to go Marchment. I think that his potential is just better, and I think that McCann, like, a little bit of injury history on Seattle. Bobby McMahon's going to be dragging him down, Ryan. So give me Marchment.
Yeah. I will. I just wanted to pull this up real quick. And the other thing that would help decide this is Seattle from weeks 21 and 23, 9 games, 0 off nights, and Columbus is 11 games, 1 off night. So I think that would be enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm going McCann.
Woo.
I like it.
With 2 games less played. Wow.
Yep.
Bold move, Cotton.
Yes.
We'll see how it pays off.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we have reached the end. If you made it this far, please join the Discord community. I know trade talks are really over, but get into the Discord. It's a great community to be a part of. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, and comment. All the things we like to hear from you. So please keep doing that. But that's all we've got for this episode. Hopefully it helped. Hopefully it brought you some value and helped you get just a little bit better at fantasy hockey today. Many thanks to Matt Creamer for supplying the music for the podcast. Thanks for listening. We appreciate your time, and we'll catch you next one.